nowadays it's a lot going on with the numbers in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of numbers that's being changed. You got the bots going on. You got dudes like Drake trying to manipulate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's more than just him. Like, do you think right now the numbers still tell the truth in hip hop today? Or do they lie more than ever?
That's a funny question because they say numbers don't lie, but I would say that I think the numbers been manipulated since day one.
Yeah.
I remember hearing people that was in the music business. They used to tell me about the music mafia and that they would have
Mm,
people from the companies going out and buying the CDs to make it look like the albums were doing better than what they really were doing. So the audience would be
mm.
more inclined to go out there and get it. You feel me?
It's like marketing, kind of like
Yeah.
a marketing strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think 50 Cent, I think said he was doing that during the bootlegging era with the mixtapes. He was just finding people on the side of the road and just hitting them off. Pause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the music game is really messed up now. I think all the numbers are messed up from YouTube, Spotify. I think you can't believe any
Yeah.
of the numbers on that stuff.
Yeah. Do you think that's a reflection of what's going on when you see the top Billboard, the 40, you know what I mean? The top 40, that it wasn't no hip hop in that?
You know, that's interesting. I mean, I think that is a couple of different ways to look at it. I think that hip hop actually is in a decline. So I don't think that the same hip hop that we were getting in the past, I don't think that's the same hip hop that we get today. I think that we getting a little bit more the trap sound, the drill sound. A lot of the artists that are popular in hip hop actually make that style of music. So I don't think that music is actually open to the masses of people, as much
Yeah.
as hip hop back in the days was. You know what I mean?
So you think it's less, has a less reach and it's less talented, or?
I'm not sure if it's less reach due to the internet, but I think it's just less talent. Me
Yeah.
personally, I think it's less talent. I don't think that we see the originality as much. I think that when we were coming up, if I could describe hip hop like Marvel, I think that hip hop had different characters. You get me? And
Yeah.
today, it's like all the characters do the same moves.
So it's not special. That's what you're saying. Basically, there's no special originality, no uniqueness. Everybody kind of sounds the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's what we getting a lot more of. I mean, even if you're listening to the radio sometimes, I think sometimes you'll think that you listen to the same artist, man, but they'll be different artists, but they got the similar
They
flows,
sound exactly
the pattern
like
sounds similar.
like Future and Designer. You know what I mean? Like back then.
The same thing, same thing. So sometimes you
Yeah.
can't even tell the difference, right?
Right. 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 So speaking of that, there is that one guy that everyone is saying is super, super duper special right now.
Cool.
It's Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar. So, and you're, because I know you're a fan of Nas.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get
yeah.
to it. Actually,
Favorite artist of
you
all
from
time.
where? Where you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Let the viewers know.
I'm
So,
I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but Nas is my favorite
go
rapper.
ahead. Okay. I mean, but he was born in Brooklyn, so it's technically, I mean, he's from New York, so it makes sense. It all makes sense. But what I'm going to ask you is, this is a controversial kind of question. Is Kendrick Lamar a better lyricist, rapper, and cultural representative than Nas? Does he beat him in any of those categories?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question.
Oh, that's a loaded question.
I mean, talent wise, I don't think Kendrick Lamar is a better talent than Nas. But
Mhm.
remember, I am from that era, so it could
But
be.
you got to speak to that for the kids that don't know, because a lot of kids might not know who Nas is because they too young.
Yeah, Nas was basically, I wouldn't say he was a super conscious rapper back in the days, but he had this ability to be conscious and give us some mainstream music at the same time, simultaneously. So
Right.
that's kind of like was Nas's gift compared to a lot of other artists that we were coming up with. I mean, I'll give you an example. Most Def, Talib Kweli, they pretty much stayed in that conscious lane, but Nas actually could deliver that, and he can give you "You Owe Me" with Genuine. He can give you
Yeah.
something like that at the same time, which those guys weren't able to do that. So I would say talent wise,
Yeah.
me personally, I think Nas is better than Kendrick. I think he actually raps better than Kendrick. Me personally.
On the West Coast, they not jacking that though. On the West Coast, that's like their savior and all that.
I know. And you know what? I guess if I was from the West Coast as well, I probably would have the same opinion. I probably would have that
Yeah, maybe
bias.
it's a bias thing. I mean, I'm Nas all day. I don't think there's many people that can outright this dude. Like I really don't.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
in the
yeah.
history of hip hop, the way he puts his words together, dude could rap backwards. He tell you stories like Slick Rick. He got the punchlines if he want. He could talk about the ladies. You know what I'm saying? In such a very different type of way. Like it's very. I mean, his wordplay is crazy.
Yeah,
That's what I would say. His
absolutely.
wordplay is pretty crazy.
I would definitely say, performance wise, I would probably say maybe Kendrick brings more to the table when it comes to performing, especially with
I can
like
see that.
the props and, conveying the message of what he's rapping about. You get me?
I don't think Nas could have did that at the Super Bowl. I don't think we
Yeah,
could have
yeah,
seen
yeah.
that.
So you understand what I'm saying? So like certain things like that, I think Nas is a little bit too cool, like too laid back for some of that stuff. But I'm gonna give the nod to Nas. I'll be honest with you. I think that I think if it wasn't for him, you probably wouldn't get a Kendrick.
I got you. He was a student of Nas.
That's what I believe. I've never seen anything on the internet or researched anything on the internet to see if Nas was Kendrick's influence coming up or if he was one of the artists
Hmm.
that he looked up to. But I definitely know for a fact that you can see some of the resemblance there.
I think you'd be right on that analysis. I mean, he probably said it in the interview. I don't pay too much attention to Kendrick. No diss or knock to him. Took me a minute to kind of get into his music.
Yeah.
Like it's a different, and I tell people all the time. I'm living in Los Angeles now. I'm from New York, so it's just different. The beats is different. The culture is different. The energy. It don't be like I don't like it. It's just like I'm not used to that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's super unorthodox. It's kind of like
Yeah.
I think like the West Coast kind of took a lot of the funk, like from the past, that sound of funk, which I believe, but somebody probably end up correcting us. I believe that sound actually comes out from Ohio, to be honest with you, from the Ohio players
Mm.
and things like that. And it actually made its way over there. But guys like Warren G and Snoop and them had the G funk going on and stuff like that. So I think I think that was kind of like the base of how they came up into the game off of that sound. And,
Yeah.
in New York, where we're from, that wasn't the sound. That wasn't it.
Right.
You know,
Right. That wasn't the sound in the town.
no,
You know
that
what I mean?
wasn't
Simple and plain.
it. That's just it.
So speaking of New York, what made you, for people that don't know, what made you move from Brooklyn, New York, all the way to Germany?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Well, initially, when I first made that move, I just wanted to see some things. You know what I mean? I just wanted to like kind of like just
Switch it up.
vacation and just, yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
see the world. You know what I mean? I was young. I didn't have many responsibilities at the time. So I was just like, yo, man, let me just travel around and go to different countries. Let me go to Europe. Let me go to Africa because when I get older, I'm not sure if I'll be in the same, health condition and things like I don't know what'd be going on in my life, but I got the opportunity
Where
now. So I'm going to take it.
so I gotta ask you, where did that mindset come from? Like, was there someone in your life that liked things overseas that wanted to travel abroad? Because most people, when they say they're gonna go travel, especially where we from, they're going to Miami.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
That's
They're
true.
going to Atlanta. They're going to, you know what I mean? They're not going
They
too
staying
far.
local.
Yeah, but to them, that's like across the world. Like that's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely.
So I just want to know what put you in that thought process. Can you break that down a little bit?
Just going to school, man, and just having friends, man, who actually travel. So that's kind of what helped me out, being around people that were traveling every summer. I had friends every
Hmm.
summer. They were going either to places like Senegal, Aruba, Bahamas. They travel in Korea. Like I mean, they're everywhere during the summer. And
Yeah,
just being friends with people like that. I think naturally you get curious. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, man, I wonder how it is too. You know what I mean? So of course,
absolutely.
when my homeboy was like, "Hey man, I'm over here." I'm like, "All right, man, let me just come check you out there."
I'm gonna pull
Like
up. I'm gonna pull up.
there you
Yeah, I'm
go,
gonna pull up.
there you go. So
Yeah,
pulled up, and
yeah,
the rest is history, man. I found the lane out there,
yeah.
and started doing my thing.
What would you say as far how do they view American hip hop out there? Like, are they into the trap? They into the drill? Are they still like 1990s with it? Like, what did you see when you was there?
That's a good question. I saw kind of a mixture of both, but I would definitely say I saw more of the 90s and the earlier 2000s. hip hop. I heard a lot more of that in the club scene than I heard a lot of the new stuff. At the time I was around there, I think Young Money probably was really, really popular. So of course I
Yeah.
heard a lot of Lil Wayne stuff and things like that. But I noticed that they actually like what we would probably call like the essence of hip hop. So they liked a lot of Biggie, they liked a lot of Tupac, they liked a lot of Mobb Deep,
Yeah.
KRS
Snoop
One,
Snoop Dogg? Snoop Dogg, did they get
Snoop.
any West Coast any love?
Yes, yes, yes. Snoop Dogg got a lot of love. Like I just said, Tupac got a lot of love out there, even though I know he was from the
Tupac.
East Coast, but I would
We
say
we gonna
most
write
people
we
connect him to
gonna
the West.
we write him as a West Coast.
Yeah,
We gonna just write him, even though he's from where we from, but I
absolutely.
think he did the most for out here.
Yeah,
He did the
yeah, yeah.
most for out here.
But they
And
have a
he
they
died
had a
out here
lot
too.
of respect for the culture. When I was there, I saw a lot of artists like Big Daddy Kane and a lot of these guys still touring in Europe. So I would definitely say
Mm,
the essence of hip hop, they definitely respected the culture in that sense. They were
gotcha.
more culturalists, if I can say. They actually wanted to look at hip hop from that lens instead of a more popular lens, a poppy lens of hip hop, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I got it. It probably means a lot more to them, especially not being here and being, this is like a fantasy to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I see when foreigners come over here, they be way more excited about regular shit that we don't care about. Like,
Absolutely.
the Statue of Liberty, going to Hollywood, just shit that we take for granted every day. We see it all the time. It's just like, man, that shit whack. Like no one cares about that.
Absolutely.
So same thing when we go to another country. When I went to Germany for my first time, I was like, damn, this is crazy. This is where Hitler was murdering motherfuckers. Like this shit feel crazy. That's the first thing my mind did. Like I was like, oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Niggas having speeches right here. I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
not.
how my man Carl do it, but salute to him.
I mean, you know my saying, man, you know my motto, if you can survive in the States, then you pretty much can survive anywhere, man, because whatever I experienced in Germany, I would definitely say it wasn't something that I
It
haven't seen
wasn't
before. Let's just say that.
no comparison. No
Mm.
comparison to out here.
In which way?
I mean, anything negative that you saw, it wasn't that
Yeah,
bad in comparison.
whatever I saw that was negative, I would probably say I can mention an incident in the States that would even top that probably by times 10. So I
Yeah.
saw, let's say for instance, I saw, I've seen in the nightlife, I saw sometimes, racial incidents where you had Germans fighting against other different types of African people and things like that. And I saw that there, but I can't
Who
say
who
that I
who
haven't
gave it up
seen
though?
that in America, so
Who in those scenarios, who gave it up? Was the Africans getting it, or
say it again.
was the Germans put? I said in those scenarios, who was getting it? Who put in work more? Was it the Germans or the Africans?
No, that's a tough question, man, because I keep it real, man. If the Germans got into a little issues, man, them German police officers got there so damn fast, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, probably a lot of times, man, if an African cat got a good licking, he probably was gone.
Yeah,
He was gone, he got his licking, he was gone. But
he got them jeans.
yeah. Because they have a system out there. They call it Schmerzgeld. I don't know what the translation is in English, but
I don't
Schmerzgeld
either.
means if you do bodily harm to someone, you got to pay for all their hospital bills and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
well, I know a little bit about that. They have the same thing in America. It's called restitution.
yeah, restitution. My bad. Yeah, so yeah, that
Yeah,
restitution joint it's hard out there. They really get you for that out there.
They got me. They really got me too, Carl. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got in America. I think I had to pay like 10,000.
Yeah.
Know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That
I
sounds
got into a little
about right.
assault charge at a police. It was at a police bar. So, you know
That
how
was a
that go. And
lose situation.
it was a military guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I lost. Even though I won, I thought I won the fight. I really lost. So yeah, I don't promote violence at all. But have you heard about this Ebro in the morning thing? Have you heard that he got fired from Hot
It's funny.
97?
Actually, it came across my screen about 2 days ago. Yes, I did. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of Ebro being fired from my.
What's your feelings on him, Rosenberg? The whole gang and all of that.
Man, what's so crazy? I actually tuned into their show a few times, but I never was an avid follower, like a follower of
A
their
fan.
show. I can say this: I never really was too amazed by any of the
Their takes.
their takes on much. Let's just say
Yeah.
that, you know?
I think he said he believes he was fired due to political, like whatever. I guess he said something about Netanyahu, and he feels like that's why he got fired because he thinks Trump is the reason why their job is gone.
But I thought Ebro was Jewish.
I think he is.
Yeah, so why would
I don't
Benjamin
really,
Netanyahu fire?
I don't know what the words that was said. I don't know what the sentiments are. But me personally, and I don't know how you feel, but I think radio is dying. I think that shit is a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a big conversation that's up now. I mean, I don't know if the numbers, I would have to definitely look at the numbers with radio, but like we spoke earlier, the numbers can be,
The numbers can lie.
manipulated.
But think about it. How many people you know personally? I don't know. Maybe you know better than me. I mean, I meet people all the time, and I don't know anybody that's really listening to the regular radio. Satellite, maybe.
Yeah. I would definitely say that. I don't know too many people that's listening to regular radio. I think a lot of people listen to a lot of podcasts these days.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if your podcast is on satellite radio or something like that, you get what I'm saying? I guess that's where you would get it from. But I know the Breakfast Club was a morning radio morning radio show that people listen to. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many listeners they have monthly. But I think some forms of radio is still out there, still flourishing a little.
It's like cable.
Yeah,
It's like cable. Like somebody still got a cable TV.
there you go.
You know what I mean? Not me. You know, the bars and the businesses and stuff like that. I don't know, man. As far as like going to radio for music, for me, I don't even know what would be the point of that. Because I think now you can choose, you can stream whatever you want to. Everybody got their own little app. You got the internet. You got YouTube. As we on YouTube right now. So I'm seeing everybody go that direction. Everybody has an app or a subscription or a streaming or satellite. I mean, I think if you in radio right now and you've been in radio like Funkmaster Flex for like 40 years, it's time to figure it out. It's time to get something else going because it's about to be gone.
Absolutely. I mean, radio is not, when we were listening to radio back in the days, it was breaking things for us, like breaking different songs, right? So, we was getting an introduction to much music. But, that's not the way you break a song these days so much, right? That's not the formula like it used to be in the past. Yeah, I think, you definitely don't have a lot of listeners because of that. And,
Yeah.
I mean, you've always, I suppose you had talk radio, right? You had people like Wendy Williams. I remember Angie Martinez. A lot of different.
I think she's still around somewhere. She's doing something.
Yeah. So, I mean, I even think that kind of died out a little because that got replaced by somewhat the podcast, right? Where now you have different personalities besides just this one dominant personality that's controlling the entire narrative, right?
The gatekeepers. That's what you're speaking on, I think. Yeah, the gatekeepers is trying to, Ebro was apparently a gatekeeper. So them days is over. I did see his attempt at, they're getting online and they trying to do a podcast or YouTube or whatever. I don't really think it was the best quality. I think his energy, how he's just very arrogant. I feel like the guy is very arrogant.
Ebro?
And I guess when you're in that space for a long time, you kind of feel like you should be. The problem with this day and age is all these podcasters, they know what's up. They actually seen this guy. There was enemies with him before. I guess they've had back and forth. So they know every detail about the man. So
yeah,
it's just not a good look sometimes because they're like, now we on fair ground. Like you ain't got no people working for you. You ain't got no producers. You ain't got no engineers. You ain't got none of that. And now we seeing what the difference is. Like you can't add up to what we got going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
So, the game is changing. I think the game is changing in every industry, especially with AI, all of that. So is it good or bad? I mean, I think we just got to figure it out. Things are changing and you gotta change with the change or you're going to be a dude that's out there on Venice Beach passing out a CD.
When there's no CD players to play it in, You're going
to be lost. Like them Jamaican dudes on Venice. I don't know if you remember when you came out here, but I don't even know if there's music on them CDs.
Yeah, they was stuck. They was stuck back in the 90s. Yeah, they was stuck. They was in the time zone. They was in time warp, man.
They already know. I give them that. Like I'll be like, nah, brother, I'm good. I appreciate you, but I'm good.
That's the whole fact.
This way, like we ain't doing that. I don't even got a CD player. Like, that's crazy. So speaking of that, do you think artists would survive the era that we came from, having to go outside, having to connect with people, pass out CDs, pass out merchandise, like run down on DJs? And we just talk about the radio. Like, what do you think that would look like with these people now? Like, most of them is on the internet.
I think
What do you think?
I think some artists in today's time would have had that grind or would have been able to fit in that era where you had to get out and really hustle for yourself. I'll probably say the artists, you know, I guess it's the same thing, right? If you're a lazy artist, you know, then you probably you wouldn't have been able to survive in any of these eras, right?
Yeah.
Let's just be realistic,
Yeah.
right? So I think some of them, yeah. I think that maybe artists back in the day were probably a little bit better with the social, being a little bit more social with the people outside because they're dealing with people hand-to-hand contact, one-to-one all the time. I think today, you know, maybe some of the guys would have a problem just having regular conversations with just the average people on the streets. I think that there's a lot of overinflated egos these days from the artists these days. Even though we had that back in the time where guys felt like they were the best and things like that. But they didn't know that the audience outside in the streets, you have to still pay homage to that. So I think some of the younger guys today, to answer the question, some of them will be able to grind out. I'm trying to think of a name off the top of my head. A young guy that probably would have been able to do it. Maybe NBA Youngboy.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably say him.
Yeah, I heard his grind is pretty that he's really good with his grind and all of that in his business.
So that's what I said. I think you'll always find some that will be able to. But it'd be like this. The same artists that were depending on the labels back in the days to do all the marketing and stuff, those artists in today's time that's doing that now, that's depending on that, they would be struggling back in the days, just like those artists would be struggling back in the days. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that's kind of like my take on it.
It's a big what if, you know what I mean? Just like the NBA, like when we talk about NBA players, what they would have did in Jordan's time, like we'll never really know, but you know, because there's so many different rules and there's so many different things going on that it's like not comparable.
Yeah.
But it's a what if. You know what I mean?
Because you know, I think I would say like sometimes when people talk about the simplicity of the music today, right? Sometimes, and I'll say to them, you know, we did have some simple stuff back in the days too, like you know, loop bass. You know, I mean, some of that stuff was very simplistic. You know, MC Hammer can't touch this. Doom, 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 doom. You know what I mean? This is very simple stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I think it's just an everything, man. You know, every generation has to have their, you know, have their so-called quote unquote heroes of the game at that time. You know, I would just.
Do you have a particular person right now who's in a new era that you deem is like, you know what I mean? That's that guy.
That's official?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kendrick, you mentioned his name earlier. I thought Kendrick was one of those guys. Man, I mean, this is a hard question. Let me just get it clear from you because are we talking about the age or are we just talking about them just relevant in the era?
I'm talking more about them relevant as if they're I'm not talking about the age. I'm saying basically somebody that's in the last 10 years. Like
so like
that's
J. Cole, like, you know, I can name a few of them guys, you know.
I think that's it. I think there's nobody really else. I mean, Drake is pretty much done. I mean, that's over.
Look like he retired.
That era's kind of over. That was the end of the era, I think. And I think it was time. I think it was about that time too. Like he's been around for a long time. I think 2008.
Who, Drake?
2008, 2007 maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I would definitely say like this. I mean, you know, I think the hardest thing for an artist is to have that longevity for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You know, eventually, you know, I guess except if you're Michael Jackson, eventually it seems like people do get tired of you eventually. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, when an artist is hot, they can say anything and people just be like, yo, they the best. You know, once people start getting a little tired of you, you say something, they be like, man, he go with this corny stuff again. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, but it was hot 5 years ago.
I think everybody got their window. You know, I think that's just human nature. Like, we don't want to continue to see the same thing. We want to see some type of progression, elevation.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we stuck in our ways. You know what I mean? I got artists where I'm like, I don't like when they change.
That's true. That's true.
I'd be like, oh, why this nigga trying to rap better now? Like, why he trying to actually like say some shit that's like inspirational?
Yeah.
That's not my personality. But people get it twisted. They be thinking because I'm a positive person and I do all of these things to help and build myself up that sometimes I just want to hear the guy that's just spitting some bullshit. Like, as you would say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not bullshit, but you know what I mean? Like, I like his style, but doesn't really reflect my lifestyle. It's just some shit I want to hear right now. Like battle rap.
Kind of like 50. I think 50 had that happen to him. We got so used to just hearing just the gangster stuff from him, man, and just the killings and just the, just the thuggery on the tracks, that the minute he
Yeah.
tried to kind of get a little bit more subtle on that stuff, we like, yo, that joint is corny, bro. Like, you got to
That's
bring
swag.
that back down back. You got
That's
to bring
swag.
that patiently waiting back.
Yeah, that was the same thing. I think Jay-Z, I think that happened to him, but he was smart. He got the fuck out of there. He was like, I ain't about to go through that. I'm not going through that like my music not about to go down. My catalog's not about to go down because you guys don't like where I'm going up to. So Jay-Z's a businessman, so he gonna do that.
Yeah. I think he did. I think he transitioned. I mean, for one of the older guys from our era, I think he had one of the better transitions out of the game. I mean, I don't know if you listened to the 444 album.
I did.
But I thought for, as long as he's been in the game, I didn't think it was a bad album.
That was a great album to me to end off on.
Yeah.
If that's what if he's never gonna make music again. I don't count the Beyonce, the thing with his wife. I don't count that.
But like the collab, yeah, I don't do that stuff. Yeah, no. I'm talking about just him and what he created,
Yeah. But yo, man, it's been real. Definitely appreciate you coming up here, brother.
Man, you already know,
we're gonna get you back on. Numbers don't lie. You gotta let them know you're originator, you're a co-owner.
Absolutely.
Creator.
Absolutely.
So we back in the loop right now, man. We making some things happen. We making some strides all through the country. And yeah, make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit that Cash App link so we can keep creating. And we about to have a lot more for y'all in the near future. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. Respect.
All right.
Salute.
My brother. Make sure y'all go get y'all NDL hoodie, man. Get all y'all NDL apparel. I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all see the joint right here. We got the good maroon joint. You see the established 2014 for y'all that know. Numbers don't lie.